Welcome to Photoshop for Video. I'm your host, Rich Harrington, and this week we're going to take a look at another way to stylize a logo or text, and that is distressing it. Now, the easiest way to do this is to use an organic texture. So I'm going to use a photo of a fence that I took, but you could really use anything. A shot of concrete, a stock photo. Take a look at the website textureking.com, and you'll find a ton of free textures that you could download that look great. So these are all great resources. You can use your own or download a texture for this exercise. Now, let's go ahead and just quickly set some text in here. I'm going to grab the text tool and just click and drag inside of the title safe area here and put in some text. Got our text, call up the block, and let's go ahead and set this to auto for the leading, and we'll bump the point size up right now to about 200. There we go. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't know is that you can quickly experiment with fonts. Sure, you can click in this list and step through, but that takes a while. One thing you can do that works better is simply click in this list and use the down arrow key. And as you do that, you'll see that it steps through different fonts, and you could find the one you like. So this one's working pretty well for me, but I want to go ahead and do a little bit of stylization. Let's select the word war there, and we'll make that a bit bigger. And we're going to go ahead and track that a little looser. And let's scale that horizontally just a bit. There we go. That looks pretty good. I've got of and the, and I'm happy with that, but I want to go ahead and just change the leading so it's a little tighter. And let's do this last word here. We'll pump that up a bit. Scale it out to match. There we go. That looks pretty good. And let's just tweak leading. So let's go ahead and just center that on the page a little bit. We'll drop that down, and that's pretty good. What I'm going to do now is further distress the text using an actual photo. So grab a photo of your own or go to textureking.com and pull one down. Here we go. This is just a wooden fence. I'm going to copy that texture, switch back to the other document and paste it in. That works pretty well. What we could then do is switch over to channels and actually command click on one of these channels to load it. And you see what it does is it creates a very aggressive texture. That worked pretty well. And what I'm going to do is switch back now, turn that off, and simply come here and click the Add Layer Mask button. So again, those steps, you've got the picture turned on, switch over to Channels palette, and command click on one of the channels that looks like it has a lot of contrast. Switch back to Layers and turn that layer off, grab your layer with text, and then click the Add Layer Mask button at the bottom of the palette. When you do that, the texture is applied to the text and it basically weathers it. Notice how it looks like there's a copy of the image over here behind the text. Now let's just put a photo back here really quick, or actually a background will be fine so we could see how this comes into play. I'm going to go ahead and do Filter, and let's take advantage of some of those flaming pear plugins we looked at a little while ago. We'll do Glitterado, which is a fun plugin, and let's just roll the dice a little bit and get some random patterns. And notice there's lots of options within here. That looks pretty good. I'll click OK, and it'll run. Now, those Flaming Pear filters are from flamingpear.com. You can actually download fully functional 30-day demos. They're really nice to use. Let's go ahead and just change the color of that a bit. We'll click Colorize. There we go. Make it a little bit lighter and a little bit more saturated. Good. I'm going to change the color of my text to white now, so this really stands out. There we go. And notice, let's press Command H to hide the selection. You're actually seeing through the text. If we zoom in here, you can see that that texture is actually applying a weathered texture to the text itself. If you want to, you could select that texture layer and press Command L and play with the levels on it, punching it up to make it a little darker, which will mean more transparent, playing with the midtone value here to make it a little more opaque if you want. We can go ahead and notch that around a bit. There we go. And notice how it's done a nice job of really distressing the text, putting some knocked out areas into it, adding a little bit of texture, making it look very, very organic. And we could tweak that around with the midpoint as needed. Now, if you want to reposition that texture, it's a piece of cake. Simply click the lock icon here and grab the Move tool, and you can now move that texture independently or scale it as you need to get the results you want. So if you're not quite happy with that texture, you could do something like that and really get the desired result. When you're done, be sure to click the link button again so they stay connected. I'll finish this out with a quick layer style. Let's just add a slight stroke to that text, and I'll put that on the outside there. Or better yet, let's try using just a little bit of an outer glow, and we'll sample a color from our background here. There we go. And tweak that a bit. So there you have it. We've gone ahead and created our own stylized text using a distressed texture. This works great. A lot of things you could do with it. Just try out different textures on your own. Be sure to check out that website Texture King for a ton of free textures that you can use. And try this out on logos or text. It's really a nice treatment that gives it a much more organic and natural look. For Photoshop for Video, I'm Rich Harrington. I invite you to check out our website at photoshopforvideo.com and be sure to post a comment into one of the blog posts because we'll be doing a drawing later this month for a free copy of the book, Photoshop for Video from Focal Press. Thanks again.